Everybody, what's going on? It's me, Captain Vibes. Today we live action. You already know what it is. Another week, another chapter of Bleach. And this is Bleach chapter 608, titled The Darkness, I believe, from the Blackest of Black. I think that's the name of the title. I mean, the chapter. So, this week's chapter of Bleach. Yes, if you all enjoyed the fight between Ichibe and Juha last week, then you got more this week. And I did say last week that I wanted more. You know, I wanted more. Yes, I got more. Now, if you're not a fan of chapters where it's just nothing but fighting, then this chapter is not for you. But I really enjoyed this chapter. Even though there was no story progression, we did get some things that were revealed as far as fighting capabilities and techniques. So, we see basically Ichibe, the Ichimoji is Shikai, or Ichimaji, whichever one it is. The blade, you see it's a very thick blade, you know, at the very tip it's very thick. And Juha, he was observing and wondering, like, what's up with that blade? Is this the same blade as before? Because you see it went from brush to blade, and Juha, he was confused by it. And he goes on to question it to Ichibe. And the fact that he told Ichibe, look, it doesn't even matter, because if you cut my powers in half, you know, I'm just going to restore them back to full like I did last time. He said, but even still, if that's the case, I can get you with my, he forgot the name because they were slashing and slashing and slashing. Juha was trying to cut through the ink, and his sword got blotted with ink, and he couldn't remember the name. And you see Ichibe, he's like, huh? What, like, go on, like, we have all the rest of this art, come on. And basically the ability with Ichimaji, he goes on to whatever it blocks, it loses its name, thus this power. And he tells Juha, look, now your sword is blotted in ink, your medallion, your Quincy cross is blotted in ink. You just had them just ink, you know, everywhere. And the art, I did like the art in this chapter, man. I like the way that Kubo drew the ink and everything, the kanji ink splashes, things like that. I did like that. And he says anything about a name has no power. So at that point, Juha, he said, oh, well, I can take your power too. And he does a new ability, Zant's Altar. And with that, he said, this is not just some nameless ability. This is just an ability, you know, from me, even though it has a, you know, a name, and it made you wonder if he could have just blotted his face or his mouth and he couldn't have said the name, but whatever. And he summons it. And it makes the Quincy design, a Quincy cross pattern, and it actually takes the power away from Ichibe. That's what he said, because at first when it worked, the effect, that one panel where it seemed like the ink power went away, or it just looked like he just deflected it. You know, that's what it looked like. It looked like one of the two, but then of course it was confirmed because Juha was looking confused, and Ichibe says, well, don't make that confused face. Yes, it did steal my powers, but the thing is, it's not for Juha's power to be, like, it's not for his to control. I mean, yeah, he took the powers, but Juha, he can't control it because Ichibe, once he releases Ichimonji, all black is under his control, his command, whether it's from Shinigami, Quincy, dead or alive, just all over. And you see Urahara, you see the blackest of black coming from Urahara. Now, first upon reading this in the morning, you know, when I woke up, I was thinking, like, wait a minute, Urahara, there's no black on his hat, you know. And I seen, you know, you see the black coming from the dead Shinigami, who should have deteriorated into rage particles, but whatever. And you see, unless they just died, or unless it's just a unless it's a time limit on how long they stay in that form on the when they just go into particles. And then you see black coming from other hairs. But I'm pretty sure, like, the essence of black, any essence of darkness of black of that color, because with Soul Reapers, yes, Urahara, yes, technically he's still a Soul Reaper. That essence is black, you know, it takes it from there. I believe it's that essence mixed with the color, more so color manipulation. Because if you was to place him in an area or a dimension with no type of black, the only black he would have to rely on is the black ink that comes from his Zanpakuto. But anything else he can pull from it, you know, I don't know. Because notice it did not show the world of the living or Hueco Mundo. It was just in that area he was in. Yes, Soul Society, I mean, the Royal Palace is still in Soul Society, just up above the Serite, you know, so it was just a blackness in that area. Also with who you're fighting. I'm surprised it didn't show the other Quincy's, the elite guards, the elite guards of Juha, you know, any type of blackness coming from them. But at that point, right there, he goes on to blot Juha with a massive, just of ink. You see ink all over his face. Right there, to be continued. Now, this is my thing. In this week's chapter of Bleach, like I said before in the beginning of this review, there was no story progression. It was all action, all fighting. But the good thing is we got to see a good solid explanation of his Zanpakuto ability, just the Shikai. And we see how effective this Shikai can be, especially against an opponent like Juha. It makes you think what the Bunkai would be able to do. The Bunkai may be all colors. Colors of the rainbow or something, who knows. But, I mean, this guy, he can cut your powers in half. He can have you, he can take the names away from things and to have their powers just meaningless and useless. I mean, this Ichibe, he is so far the most effective Royal Guard member, in my opinion. But to me, the main shocker of this old chapter, this Zanth altar. So Juha, he can just take abilities, period. Damn the whole medallion taking a Bunkai. He can just take abilities, period. I guess Juha was not playing when he said everything is here for my taking. You know, for me. And for him to be able to just, like, okay, I guess that was one of his trump cards he was using. You know, he was just waiting and waiting and waiting, and then he tried to take it. I mean, I guess he didn't even want to wait till Ichibe used the Bunkai. And that brings me to my other point. All in all, this is good and this is fine and dandy, but let's keep it real. You know, I came down off of this high of, you know, me enjoying this fight between Juha and Ichibe because I really like Juha, alright? And I love to see him in battle, to see new techniques and abilities and things he can do. But let's face it, this is just set up to basically have a justifiable reason to show Ichibe's abilities. Because we all know Ichibe is not going to kill Juha. We know this. So it's kind of like, for so far, each chapter I read when they fight, I'm starting to think like, okay, Ichibe, you know, basically each week your lifespan is counting down because you're either gonna lose or you're gonna die, one or the other. And each chapter that goes by is like you're gonna run out of things to do because Juha, he's gonna find out a way to counter them. All right. Yes, both of you are countering each other's techniques and abilities, but if Juha finds out a way to get around, getting splattered with all that ink, then Ichibe, he's just gonna go Bunkai. And then what's gonna happen then? Juha, is he gonna have to activate Old Man Yama's Bunkai? Now, if he activates Old Man Yama Bunkai, then there's really gonna be an interesting, somewhat interesting debate on this whole Old Man Yama versus Ichibe thing about who's stronger, which was heavily talked about in the comment section of my Bleach chapter review 607. But reason why it can't be fully justifiable is because even though he's using Genryu's Bunkai, it's still not Old Man Yama. He's just using the ability. And I'm pretty sure as strong as Juha is, it's up for debate, but I'm pretty sure he can use it to the full effect because Juha even said not everyone can take, no one but him can take Old Man Yama's Bunkai. So I'm pretty sure he can probably use it effectively. Maybe he's going to use Zanpakuto no Itachi East, West, East, West, North, and South, excuse me. Maybe he's going to do that. Maybe he's going to boil the ink, whatever, make it evaporate, I don't, whatever. Who knows with the logic and physics of the Bleach world? Who knows what's going to happen? All right. But him being able just to take the powers of that Zanth altar, that right there is what messed me up. I said, so it seemed like no matter what, push comes to shove, naturally he doesn't fear none of the Quincy's. No other Quincy. Clearly he doesn't fear no one. Now, with Ichigo, can he take Ichigo's Quincy powers? Can he take Ichigo's Soul Reaper powers? Or can he not take any of these things due to the fact that Ichigo, he's just a concoction of all the species in Bleach, you know? But that's my whole thing about it. Now, next week, the chapter may be divided. It may be divided. But I believe signs of Ichibe going to lose is all of these people coming to join the fray. It's really going to be that or these elite guards of Juha. They're going to have multiple opponents. I mean, let's not forget who's all on the way up there. You know, Chad, Orihime, Ganju, Ichigo, Yodorichi's sister or brother, whatever. The visors, the rest of the visors. But I think these are lines on, I think these are foreshadowing lines on the grounds of being shown that a lot of Bunkais are going to be seen. Love, possibly Hachi's. You know, whatever. He might not have a Bunkai, he probably does. You know, some say that's up for debate. What else? I don't think I'm sorry, Lisa and Hiyori, no. Hell no, I don't think, no. But Shunsu, oh yeah, that's another one. He's on his web. So yeah, Ichibe, so far he's doing a good job. But at the end of the day, he's just gonna lose. And I do agree with a lot of the comments in my last review with people saying, oh man, Yama, he basically lost the plot. But let's wonder how this would have played out if he wouldn't have died. Say if they would have been fighting, Juha and Old Man Yama. But Juha's time was up. He had to evacuate. And then he figured, like, okay, well, I'm just going to gather up Uryu and Hashwath, make that teleportation symbol on the ground, that Quincy symbol, and go up. You know, go up to the Royal Palace. And then Old Man Yama, he'd probably just rather do two things. Lay waste to the remaining Quincy's that's down there in the Serite, or just leave it up to the rest of the remaining Gotei 13. And then he probably would have fought his way up to the Royal Palace, you know, going to Kakushiba, going through this whole process. And then at that point, it'd have been the Royal Rumble in the Royal Palace. You know, it'd have been, you know, just a big old reunion. Old Man Yama, you know, Ichibe, Hikifune, Shitara, Oetsu, Korenji, all those motivators. You know, it just would have been a big reunion. And they probably have to show down up there, but who knows, but that's just a big what if. Oh yeah, and another thing with this whole who was around first or before Old Man Yama thing, that's still up for debate because the origins of all 5 Royal Guard members have yet to be shown. I mean, it was shown and explained what they were known for. You know, this person naming that, this person inventing this person doing that. But let's not forget, they all had to be promoted to that position. They didn't just pop up, oh man, I'm guarding the Spirit King, you know, in the royal family. No, I mean, it's even proof positive with Hikifune. We read the chapter, we seen the episode. That was proof positive, because Hiyori was pissed about it, all right? And also, if it's a group of people, and all of you have your position to do something, one person may think of something, but then the next will have ideas to name something. Then this person will have, like, just any type of business or organization, everyone has their role to do something. You think of this, you do that, you do that. So this person, you know, Old Man Yama, you know, just taking a shot out there. Yes, he started the academy, because some was saying, okay, Ichibe, he was probably around before Old Man Yama, because he named everything. And Oetsu, he created the Zanpato. He knows the whereabouts of all the Zanpatos, but maybe it was all in conjunction some type of way. But they all used to be previous captains before. You know, the Royal Guard members. All of them. I mean, that right there is a fact. But it's still shrouded in mystery, and because of that, it will always be up for debate. But we know for a fact, Hikifune, we do know for a fact, she's probably what? The most recent person to get promoted to Squad Zero. The rest, when, where, how. But I do understand where the good debate comes from about, well, you know, he named this first and he knows about this Zanpato. That I can understand. But yet, truthfully, canonly, it all has yet to be revealed. So it's just up for debate, to be up in the air. And it will only be solved when the facts come into play in future chapters. Who knows when that'll be. But overall, chapter was good. For a fighting chapter, I did like the art, the way Kubo did the ink and everything. For a fighting chapter, it was good. Yes, we got explanation on his Shikai. Now I want to see his Bunkai. I do want to see that. I want to see 2 things from Juha. Old Man Yama's Bunkai, or the fact that he's going to, do more techniques. But I don't think he's going to use Old Man Yama's Bunkai. He may say that for Ichigo. And that may be Kubo's way of showing just how strong Ichigo is. He's going to use it on Ichigo, and it's not going to do anything. And, you know, Juhai's going to be shocked and surprised. They're going to show, you know, Ichigo in some badass pose with the fire around him, saying like this has no effect on him. You know how it's probably going to go. But other than that, at least, give me your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Do you think the countdown has started for Ichibe? I think it has. But thanks for watching. I'll see you all next week. Signing out.